Hi guys, I'm Ram Agarwal. You are watching my channel 52 Pixels. Let's get started. Hi guys, in today's tutorial we are going to see some advanced features that levels provide to us in Photoshop. We've already learned how levels work and what levels are actually, but in today's tutorial we are going to see some of the advanced features of levels that we didn't cover in the previous tutorial. So to get started, what we are going to do is I'll just brief you. So first of all, this is the image that we are going to work with today, and with this blue t-shirt with the blue shirt, we are going to see how to change the color or make it like a little darker or brighter using levels. But some different parts of levels and some theoretical part of levels is going to be covered in this particular one, which is definitely going to help you while using the levels in more of your projects or images. So to quickly get started, as I want to work with just the shirt, what I'm going to do is just go to select, and I've saved the selection for this one, so you don't have to waste time looking at me make the selection. And I'll just load the selection. So as you can see, the selection of the shirt has been loaded up over here. Now what I can do is just go to adjustments and go to levels. So after going to levels, this is what I can see, and we've already seen that these are this is the graph that we have to work with, and with this graph we have all the adjustments for the white, gray and the black, and then they are going to get applied to this one. And as you can see, this is the mask that I selected over here. As you can see, this is the mask. So the work that we do with the levels is only going to get affected to this white region because that's what I have selected. So now to quickly start working, what we are going to do is go to adjustments, levels. Okay, anyways, so I can just double tap on this thumbnail and I get the levels back. Now what we can do is I want to make it a little brighter. So as we know, this part is the highlights, this is the midtones, and this is the shadows. You can call it white, gray and black, but that's just for common usage. But if you want to work with Photoshop in depth, you just have to use this term, that is the highlights, the midtones and the blacks or the shadows. Now I want to make it brighter, and as you can see over here in the graph, it clearly shows that over here it has the maximum intensity. So what maximum intensity is, that like from 0 to 1 there's the maximum intensity of colors or the shadows, the highlights more in this region rather than in this region. So if I want to make it brighter, what I will have to do is just drag the white one towards the left so that it comes in the range of this graph where the whites get a little portion of the color intensity. I don't know if that is quite clear to you, but that's somewhat how it works like. So now as you can see, this was the before and this is the after. So I've just made it a little brighter. Well, I'm really sorry for this image. It's a little pixelated image and I was not able to find a good one, and actually I was like a bit lazy to do it. But anyways, so we have to work with this image for the time being. And over here, as you can see, just working with these sliders, I can just definitely change the color, like the brightness or the darkness of that color. And I can use this shadows slider to, I can just drag it towards the right to make the colors little darker. And now I have, this is the before and this as the after. So this looks a little brighter and it looks a little more shinier, but in the same time it has a little darker tinge to it. So the darker regions have become more darker and the brighter regions have just become more brighter and shinier. So this is the before and after. Now this is one thing, but this is another thing that you might not have noticed quite well. So adjusting levels doesn't just mean working with these 3 sliders. We have actually 5 sliders that we can work with. So what these 3 sliders mean is that these separate sliders mean that they are going to work with individual pixels color. So this darker one is going to work with the shadows of individual pixels. This the midtones one is going to work with the midtones of individual pixel, and this one is going to work with the highlights of individual pixel. So we are just going to work with the highlights, shadows and the midtones of individual pixel. But with these ones, what we can do is we can just change the intensity of darkness or the brightness of that individual pixel. So what I mean to say is that, so suppose as like you can consider this region or this region, so where we have the shadows or that region is particularly it's just dark or it's just black, it's because there are shadows that are falling on that particular region, and more than that what is happening is that that color is not getting in focus because these colors are bright, and that's why that is looking a little darker. Now that I want to make it a little brighter, instead of working with the levels, it is not going to help me that much. Instead, it's just going to give me a little problem. I don't want to do that. What I can do is just drag this one towards the right, and as you can see, the regions that were earlier black, now they have become into a gray shade, or you can say a darker shade of gray. So earlier it was like earlier it was black, and now it is a darker shade of gray. It's because I use this slider, which is changing the intensity of that darkness. And if I want to work with these ones, so the buttons over here are white, but if I want to make them a little darker, I can just drag this white one towards the left and make them look darker. So the thing that was earlier white is now become a lighter shade of gray. So that's how that works. And now as you can see, I've changed the color completely, where the before is this and the after is this, and I made it look like a little more faded or worn out, you can say. So that's how these stuff works. So if you want to make an image little faded or worn out, instead of working with the levels, you can just work with these two small dots, which can adjust the brightness or the darkness of an image, and you can easily change the color, or you can just make them look faded. And this is just interesting fact, but moreover you can just do one more thing. It is not going to work exactly how you expect, but it is still going to be a little trick that you must appreciate, because that's going to help you a lot. So instead of working with just the blacks and white, if I just want to make this blue color into a black color, what I can do is just I can drag this white one towards the left, and it has become completely black. Only the problem is that it doesn't have the buttons and all the other details that we had in the original image, like the pocket over here, the collar, this patch over here. It is nothing visible now because everything has just gotten black. So you can work around with different blending modes and see what works best. You can even make it white, but again it will have the same problem. So you just have to see what works the best. And this blending mode hue has made it actually look like black, because it was earlier black, and using that blending mode, it has just shown the areas that were underneath and changed the color. So basically in this tutorial, what you learned is that there are different forms of layers, not just one that is the slider of the graph, but there are the different two sliders as well that determine the shadows, like the intensity of the darkness or the brightness in the image. And then if you just make it like completely bright or completely dark, you can just work around with the blending modes to change the color altogether. So earlier it was blue, and now it is looking a darker gray or a black shirt that you might wanna just try on. So it's kind of a experimenting basis on how you want to work with levels and how you want to work with the blending modes. But once you get a hold of it, you can just work around with your images with very ease, and it's just very simple to use and easy to work. So well, that's it for today guys. If you found the video to be helpful, please like the video, and in case of any queries or suggestions, please feel free to reach out to me through the comments. With that being said, it's me Ram Agarwal signing off for the day. See you in the next one. Thank you.